Hello everybody, my name is Mars, you can call me MG if you would like, and today I will be running some bookish errands, doing some bookish chores, and I figured I would take you along with me on a little vlog. So first up, I will be going to the library. I have a book to pick up, which I will show you when I get it, and also a book to return. The book I am returning is The Country Under Heaven by Frederick S. Durbin. Loved this, like 10 out of 10, already a contender for my favorite book I've read this month, and we're only a week in the month. I just really enjoyed this. I don't know exactly what it is that worked for me, but everything kind of just worked. This is a weird western with like cosmic horror vibes, some like I want to say conspiracy theory vibes, but not like flat earther kind of conspiracy theories, but like alien kind of stuff happening. And it spans over the course of a couple of decades, following the same character on these little like episodic missions, sort of. And yeah, it was just really good, and it got me thinking about my own Western. So, yeah, really good. I'm glad that I read this, but it is due back at the library. On the way, I will be stopping at a little free library to drop off two books that I will be removing from my collection, and that is Reign of the Fallen and Song of the Dead by Sarah Glenn Marsh. I read these right at the start of the month, and that vlog should be up. The first book I enjoyed. I thought it was a fun time. It wasn't anything special, but I did just enjoy my reading experience. The second book, I DNF'd like 20-ish% in because I was just really, really bored. This wasn't a book that needed a sequel. It ended on a very like concluding note of the story. So, yeah, I don't need to keep these, and so I'll put them in a little free library, and hopefully someone can pick them up who loves it more than I did. So that's the plan. I probably won't film while I'm out running these little errands because I will be with my boyfriend and some friends, and they probably don't want to be on camera. I mean, I know my boyfriend doesn't, and the friends probably don't either. So I will just come back and show you the book that I'm picking up from the library when I have it, and then we will move on to my bookish chores, which I only have one thing in mind. There's another thing I could do that, like, I don't know if I'm ready for it, and that is unhauling books. I've been looking at my shelves lately, and I've been a little bit overwhelmed with the number of books that I own. So I'm like, I could go through and pull a few off to get rid of, but that's probably not happening today. I feel like I need to declutter something a little bit easier before I move on to my books, like warm up those decluttering muscles. But there's still some other bookish stuff I want to get done after I come back from the library. So I will do that, and I will see you when I do it. Okay, friends, I am back. Library trip was a success. I dropped off two books in the little free library, returned my book, and I picked up The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. This is a book that I was very excited about when I first heard about it. When did this come out? I feel like it was not too long ago. Where is the copyright page? 2024 paperback came out in 2025, so very recently. And I was so excited because it is historical fantasy-ish, historical paranormal, deals with ghosts, deals with World War One, I believe it is. It takes place in Canada, specifically the part of Canada that my family is from, Halifax. So I was very excited. Then I read some Catherine Arden books, and now I'm a little more apprehensive about this. I, in the past several months, have read the Small Spaces Quartet, and I absolutely adored the first book. Small Spaces was so good. I enjoyed the second book, was okay with the third one, very much did not like the fourth one. So now I'm like, Catherine Arden is a little bit on thin ice with me, so I'm still looking forward to this, but I'm a little bit apprehensive about it. But you will see me read this book in a future vlog, I think 2 weeks after this one that I'm filming right now comes out. Should be the vlog with this book. It's very short, which I appreciate, but also though, This is a minuscule font with very narrow margins, so it's a little bit deceiving to be this small. But I do really like this cover. It's got this weird thing on it. I thought that was like a piece of tape, but it's not. It's just like discoloration shaped like a little piece of tape. I don't know, but I like the flowers with the skulls in them. The colors are very lovely. Yeah, this will be in a future vlog. For now, though, I have to continue filming this one, which means I can no longer put off my last task, which is reorganizing my TBR cart yet again. I feel like I just did this like in a vlog last month maybe, but I have an overwhelming TBR, physical TBR specifically. I do have a bit of a digital TBR, but I kind of ignore it. My owned digital books is kind of where books go to die. So that's a whole separate problem. My TBR cart though, I recently went to New York. Let this bus go by. I went to New York, bought a couple books. I also got one out of a little free library yesterday. So I've kind of just been shoving books on the cart and not like putting them away properly. So I'm going to adjust that. And I think I'm gonna time lapse it, but first actually I'll show you the books that I got because why not? So here is my TBR cart. The 3 books that I have to work into the actual organization of it are The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I got this out of a little free library yesterday. I read The Maidens last year and was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. And I actually have The Fury right here that I bought last year at a thrift store. So now I have all of his books. I think there's only the 3. But yeah, have to read this one now and The Fury, and we'll see if The Maidens was kind of just a fluke with how much I liked it, because I'm not really a thriller person, but that one surprised me. So I picked this up at a little free library. The 2 books that I got in New York, the first one I got was The Sapling Cage by Margaret Killjoy. Absolutely stunning cover, like, she's beautiful. I have had this, oh, there's some smudge on it. Sad. I have had this saved on my Libby app for months. So I saw it and it was from a queer bookstore that I wanted to support. So I decided to buy it. And I am a little nervous about this one because it is marketed as the first book in a trilogy, but there's absolutely no word about books 2 or 3. Like, no title, no release date, no anything whatsoever. And not sure how I feel about that, but I'm still excited to read this. It is about a trans woman who wants to become a witch, but witchcraft is only for women, so she kind of feels like she has to hide her transness in order to be accepted into this witch society, and it just sounds really good. So pick that up. And then I also grabbed The Antidote by Karen Russell, also a very beautiful cover. I like the colors on it. But I picked this up because Karen Russell is the author of my favorite short story of all time. It is called St. Lucy's Home for Girls Raised by Wolves. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. And I wanted to support another bookstore. It was like a small bookstore. And I saw this, and I was like, yeah, this is a book that I would want to read. And this is historical. Takes place in Nebraska during the Great Depression, and it follows a prairie witch, and that's really all I know about it. Sounds interesting, so I bought it. But these 3 books have to be worked into these 2 sections because the way my TBR cart is organized is that the top shelf is first books in series. It is the next book in series that I'm currently reading, so like ones that I'm up to, and then it is books for future vlogs. Back here, ooh, come on, rotate, we have series to binge here because I own the whole series. This section here is books that I'm not yet up to in series, so like couple of them are I want to reread the first one before getting to the second. Some, like I have Wintersmith by Terry Pratchett, which is book 30 something in Discworld, and I've only read the first one, so stuff like that. And then these ones here are nonfiction, poetry, anthologies. There's one manga, like just miscellaneous stuff. So my like general standalones are these 2 rows, which are at maximum capacity. So I'm gonna have to move some of them somewhere else, probably to like just the back of this row where my miscellaneous stuff is, which is a little sad that I won't be able to see them all, but I want to fit these ones in, and I do it alphabetically here. So we have, obviously, Alex Michaelides will go next to the other Alex Michaelides. Margaret Killjoy will go right here, right before my Stephen King, and then Karen Russell will go QRS. We'll go right here, right after Dreadful. So let's get to moving things around. Okay, I've said this before, but the TBR cart is officially at 100% maximum capacity right now. Like, I cannot fit, well, maybe I could fit like a mass market paperback in front of The Darkest Minds there. But besides that, I truly cannot fit another book on here. So, that's a problem for me, but it's fine. So seeing as we are already a week into April, my reading plans for the month are figured out, and then May and June are going to be dedicated to finishing Herkyed, which is the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. It's run by Q over at QWERTY. I have sung my praises about this challenge so much. I do think it is a lot, and I'm probably not going to be doing Herkyed 3.0, at least not fully the way I've been doing 2.0. We will see, but I do really want to get a blackout bingo on this year's board, the 2.0 board, and so that will be my focus for May and June because it ends at the end of June. July and August, I want to focus on reading some of the books from my 30 by 30 list because I have not read a single one since my last update in September, so that's a little embarrassing. But then after that, maybe I can focus on reading down my physical TBR. There's just so much. And I know I've seen so many people do these challenges where they read down their physical TBR, and maybe I'll be one of those, but I've already got my series slasher vlogs, which I'm probably going to put on hold for a couple of months, but those are vlogs dedicated to making me read books in series that I've already started. I've got, what's the other? Do I have another reading series for vlogs? I thought I did. Maybe I don't. I don't know. That's embarrassing that I can't think of it. Anyway, but I can add another series where it's me specifically reading my owned TBR. I love a good vlog series, so we'll see. But yeah, I am overwhelmed by the amount of books in my apartment right now. So probably could do with getting rid of some books. I did pick up a couple of books when I was rearranging my TBR cart and think, like, do I really need these? Specifically, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel and Ball Lightning by Cixin Liu, which I did put backwards on the cart. It should be Ball Lightning and then Station 11 if we're going alphabetical by the author's last name, but I had to flop them around just to fit them on the shelves they were on, because Ball Lightning is a much thicker book than Station 11. Anyway, those two books specifically, I feel like I would be maybe okay with getting rid of having not read them because I am a little bit interested in them, but they are both books by authors where I've read one other book by them and I thought that book was okay, but not great. And it is sci-fi. Sci-fi is one of my least read genres. I am very into like the Cosmere type of sci-fi, where it's sci-fi but fantasy. You know, science fantasy, if you will. I really like sci-fi movies and TV shows, but for some reason, sci-fi just isn't a genre that I read a ton of. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, there were those. There were a couple of other books that I'm like, do I really need this on my physical TBR? But like now that they're here, I might as well keep them until I read them. But when am I ever gonna read them? I don't know. I started off this year with 64 books on my physical TBR, and at the end of February, I was at like 82 or something. And I am purposefully not counting right now because I don't want to know how many books are on my physical TBR. It is probably over 100, and I don't want to know that. Yeah. It's a challenging season for me right now in terms of the physical things that I own because I am someone who loves physical media, but I also get overwhelmed with clutter. And then also, I do have like some hoarding tendencies. I think it's in part the autism, in part just my family and the lifestyle I grew up in was very much like keep everything. And that's kind of hard to let go of, but also it's the spring, and I love the concept of spring cleaning and getting stuff out of the house. But then I have some boxes of things that I decluttered months ago that have just been sitting here, and so like they're not even really leaving the house. It's a lot of back and forth, so that is some stuff that I have to think about, but I can do that on my own. For now, I think I've had enough bookish things for the day. I do have work in a few hours, so I'm probably going to maybe do some writing. I haven't done any writing yet today, so I can get some of that done, maybe watch a little bit of YouTube, and just relax. But yeah, I'm glad I got this little vlog filmed while there's more loud cars going by. But if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.